Hi, it's Dr. Steve Warren at Regenerative Wellness Center, just trying to talk a little bit about this virus and what we can do about it. I heard someone the other day really succinctly put what this really is. We do have the virus that we're talking about, coronavirus, but the bottom line is we're going to see a lot more viruses. We're going to start having more problems in the world because the virus is attacking our body, and it gets down to one thing only, and that's our immune system. If we have a poor immune system, we can't fight these off. And part of this is the sanitation that we have around you. We know there's several diseases that started after we started getting more sanitation, one being multiple sclerosis, one being polio, that came when we had better sanitation. If you look at a lot of the countries, and even third world countries, where the kids are still playing in the dirt, they're playing outside, they're getting dirty mouth in their mouths, they're exposed to a lot more germs and bacteria, their natural body is building their immune system up so they can fight these viruses or bacteria or other insults on their body. But as we've got, in our country especially, where we've let our diet go, we're not eating good foods, we're not getting out in the sun to get vitamin D, our gut health is very poor, we're eating a lot of processed foods, we're destroying that immune system. We know God gave us one that from our thymus gland when we're children, but as we get older, we don't have that protection. So we need ourselves to do things to boost that immune system, make it better. We look at this virus, what's happening, it's getting in those droplets, getting into the lungs, and in the lungs, it's attacking the ACE receptor in those lungs and sometimes liver, intestines. It gets into the system, replicates itself through different pathways, and we're going to talk about those pathways and how we can block it at that point. But then what happens is the immune system, because it's been poor, sort of goes into a hyper state and starts producing a lot more of the killer T cells and the lymphocytes and the mast cells and everything that's there. And what happens is it causes something called a cytokine storm. And the body gets overwhelmed to start getting more fluid in the lungs, harder to breathe, it ruins the surfactant, the little protection around our lung airways. And so our lung starts collapsing. So someone has mentioned, one of the ICU doctors I was talking to over the weekend, it's almost like the acute syndrome if you get high in the mountain, that mountain sickness where we get high altitude sickness, is our lungs just can't get the air into it. So ventilators don't seem to work as well as putting people on high flow oxygen and trying to help their lungs repair. But if we had a good, strong immune system, boy, that virus would attack us. We'd already have a good system, so it could block at that point, keep our system at the right level, so it's not too much, not too little, but in the right amount, so that we can protect ourselves from this virus or the next virus that comes. And so it's important for us to realize that there's a lot of things that we can do to help boost our immune system. We've talked about it with some of the vitamins, like vitamin C is a big one, vitamin D is a big one, a little bit of vitamin A, zinc's another great one, and adding melatonin seems to help. There's immune boosting foods that we've talked about that help your system at a higher level. We talk about elderberry, we talk about resveratrol. And there's some other ones that are very beneficial in making our immune system better. And if we can keep it at that high level, we're going to do better. We also found that since we're not in the sun as much, we don't get the vitamin D. We need to be out in the sun 10 to 15 minutes a day. Even right now, if we're doing the social distancing, get out and walk outside, get some fresh air. That sunlight, again, boosts your system, builds up your vitamin D, and helps protect you. At night, we need that 7-8 hours of sleep at night, trying to get the TVs and the computers off. Block that blue light so we have that darkness that helps our melatonin build up. And we can take extra melatonin to boost that system. But because of our environments, the computers, the TVs, not going outside, our poor diets, that's what's making our immune systems at a lower level. So when that virus hits it, it says, hey, it's a great day. I can attack this body. There's no immune supporting cells around to help me. So I want to keep emphasizing this week about how we can build that system up. Another one that we're doing too much of is we're stressing. And what happens if you start stressing, the cortisol levels in your body start going down, your adrenal glands don't function as well. And again, that decreases our immune system. Stress, depression, all those boosts, decrease that immune system. So this week we want to talk about, and again, just sort of emphasizing over again, the vitamins and nutrients you can take, the foods you can take, some breathing exercises, getting in the sun, getting more sleep, and exercising, but not to the point of too much exercise. If you push yourself and say, well, I haven't exercised for a while, I'm going to go out and exercise, it sounds good for me. Well, again, that builds up something called interleukin 6, which again attacks our body, causes muscle pain and strains, and is harmful for us. So again, like I've been emphasizing this last few weeks, it's the Goldilocks theory. We don't want too much of this. We don't want too little of this. We want just the right amount. So that's what we're going to talk about, is the right amount of the right nutrients, the foods, the diet, the exercise, the sleep, and hopefully we can keep our system at its peak form. And if it's at its peak form, whether it's this virus or the next virus or that bacterial infection or a viral infection, we're going to be able to fight them off. And that's what I want all of us to be able to do, is fight these off so we can keep our system at its peak and not let it attack us. So stay tuned. We're going to have some more advice for you this week. If you have questions, please write to us. We'd love to answer some of your questions and see what we can do together to build all of our immune systems to fight this virus or the next virus and help us, survive on this planet together. So thanks very much, and we'll talk soon.